Hi, Mackenzie. All right. So this is maybe my most favorite wellness workshop that we're doing because I get to participate, which is awesome. And so this wellness workshop is very hands-on. So what you need to do this is what came in your subscription box. If you have our subscription box, if you don't have our subscription box, you need some magazines. They do not have to be nice magazines. They can be whatever magazines. I would recommend that you have some glue, and then you need something to glue it to. I am going to do a page in my journal. So I just have a blank page, and that's where I'm going to put it. You guys in your box, you got journals like this, and we're going to have you cover the cover of your journal. And then you also have a lamination page. I love to decorate the covers of my journals, and then I kind of laminate the cover so that all the things that I stuck to it don't come off. So you also have that, that self-sticky laminate, so you can, once you're done, stick it on it and wrap it around so that it is all set and ready to go. So if you don't have those things, go ahead and gather those things. We're going to do a little bit of an introduction, why we're doing this, how to do this, and then we'll go ahead and jump in. So why we're doing this. Couple things about stress. Stress is now ranked by the CDC as the most toxic element that we can expose ourselves to. They now say that it's more toxic than smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, which is insane. Toxic or stress causes all sorts of issues. It's at the root of most of the chronic illnesses that we know of. Patients who struggle with cardiac issues, they actually did a study at one point, and they went into cardiac surgeons' offices, and they noticed that the only place that the chairs were worn were on the very edge, because those patients were so stressed that they were sitting on the edge of their seats the entire time, and they were never leaning back. So it's linked to cardiac disease, it's linked to cancer, it's linked to chronic inflammation, it's linked to adrenal fatigue, it's linked to all sorts of things. Stress is the absolute worst thing that we can expose ourselves to. So how do we combat stress? There's obviously a million different ways to combat stress. There's meditation, there's walking, there's breathing, there's supplements like magnesium. But one of the best ways that we know to combat stress is to be able to get out of our heads and do something different that calms our bodies without us having to try. Meditation is awesome. I love meditation. And for those of you who have ever tried to meditate, it is challenging. Like, to get out of your head and tell your brain to do something different is challenging. So what we're going to do tonight is we are going to take some time to create, and I'm going to read you a quote from Happy Healthy Homes that explains why we're doing this, why we're creating. So this is my page. I actually thought this was such a cool quote that I created around it. But I said, so Happy Healthy Homes, create for calm. When you do something creative, you become focused on the present activity and you let go of spiraling thoughts. Getting yourself out of that loop slows your heart rate and weakens neural pathways that relate to stress. That's really cool. I'm going to read that one more time just so that it settles in. Create for calm. When you do something creative, you become focused on the present activity. Let go of spiraling thoughts. Getting yourself out of that loop slows your heart rate and weakens neural pathways that relate to stress. That's really cool. So what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be doing kind of a collage cover. The reason that I love this particular version of creating is because there are 0 ways to do it wrong, and there are a million ways to do it right. I think a lot of times when we think of creating, we think we have to be super artistic, or we have to be really good artists, or we have to be able to draw, or we have to be able to write music. And so we actually get stressed out thinking about creating. But creating a collage is just easy. Like, it's just simple. You don't have to think it through a ton. Hold on, I'm going to put that guy on Do Not Disturb. That's a good reminder for me to remind you to put stuff on Do Not Disturb. And so it's just a beautiful way to help you get out of your mind and body. So I like to cover the covers of my journal. That's what you guys are going to be doing tonight. These are just a couple examples of some of the collages that I've made. what I want you guys to do is not get super stressed out about the end product. If you don't like your end product, you can throw it away. You will not offend us. This is not about creating something amazing. This is about the process of creating. So whatever your end product ends up being, really, honestly, doesn't matter. This is a process of getting out of your brain for 45 minutes and creating something cool. I encourage you to cover the front and the back. So what I want you guys to do right now is I encourage you to put your phone on Do Not Disturb. We're going to spend 45 minutes that is just for you. So put your phone on Do Not Disturb. If you have other tabs open on your computer, I encourage you to close them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on one of my favorite meditation playlists, and we're just going to take a deep breath and we're going to start creating. To give you a couple tips on how to do this, the way I like to do it is I just like to start flipping through my magazine, and I just cut things out. I cut out pictures that I like. I cut out words that I like. Like I just found this word sanctuary and I'm like, oh, that's good. I want that. So I'm going to cut that word out. And then I just start putting things places and seeing how it goes. Quick, like grad level version of this, if you want to upgrade, is to not use scissors. I know that actually sounds crazy. And for those of us who are perfectionists, it's like, oh my gosh, what? The way I learned to do this is I was at a retreat. We were doing a creative thing. I went back to my cabin and I forgot scissors. Turns out there actually weren't scissors available for us on purpose, but I was like horrified that I forgot scissors. I was like, oh my gosh, like, how do I do this? I can't even do this without scissors. The lines won't be perfect. And it ended up being so, so good to not have them perfect. So if you guys look at the things that I've created since then, like none of it is scissors. I mean, it's all ripped and torn. So you can use scissors, that's totally fine. But if you want a grad school level of that, don't use scissors. So do you guys have any questions before we start? Cool. Okay, so we're going to spend about 35 minutes just creating. Again, the end product that you come up with doesn't matter. It's the process of creating. It's the process of getting out of your head. And after about 35 minutes, I'm just going to give you kind of 5 minutes to wrap it up and bring us back together. And I'm just going to ask you what that process was like for you. I encourage you to pay attention to your emotions through this process. If you have like a strong emotion come up, feel free to feel that. You can turn your camera off. You can put yourself on mute, cry, be angry, whatever. A lot of times when we're creating, things like that come up. You don't have to figure out where that emotion came from. You don't have to figure out why you're mad or why you're sad or why you're happy. Just let yourself feel that. And this workshop is all about experiencing the power of creating. So I want you guys to put your hand on your heart. We're going to take one deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. I want you to take 3 more deep breaths while I read this quote again. And then I'm going to start the music and set a timer. And I just want you to dig in. So, create for calm. When you do something creative, you become focused on the present activity and let go of spiraling thoughts. Getting yourself out of that loop slows your heart rate and weakens neural pathways that relate to stress. So, go ahead and get your things. I'm going to put on music and start finding things in your magazine that speak to you. Can you guys hear that okay? Okay. About 10 minutes left. All right, you guys. Go ahead and finish your last little thing. If you're not totally done, that's okay. You can always come back to it. And then my friends who have your screen off, if you're willing to turn your screen on, I would love to see you. And we're going to close by just kind of bouncing around. And I would love to hear what that was like for you. Hi, Robin. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you like what you created, if you didn't like what you created, what you noticed in your body. um, as we did that. So I'm just going to open the floor, jump in. What did you notice while you were doing that?
For me, even though I came in late and I didn't do like creativity project, what it gave me was the opportunity to just be still. I turned that Spotify music on and I picked up one of the magazines and just thripped through it and was just taking deep breaths and just being able to just be still and just be able
Mm,
to just block everything else out. And it was pretty awesome. I feel like I'll probably get a really good night's sleep tonight. Yeah,
good,
thanks.
good. That's the goal. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Who else? Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Hally. Um, I came in late too, and I realized I misplaced my kit because I've been packing to move and stuff, and I don't know what I did with it. So anyway, I thought, okay, I had a magazine here, and I liked your idea of tearing the paper and not cutting it. And so anyway, I just kind of improvised and made a little collage. And what I thought was interesting is when I tuned in, you said when you're creating, you're in the present. And I very much was. I wasn't worrying about my parents. I wasn't, a 14-year-old, almost a 14-year-old, kept making some loud noises, but I was able to ignore that. But
Good.
yeah, I was just very much in the present. I was focused on myself and, you know, things I like and things I want to do and, memories of the past. And so it was really, really nice.
Good. Yay. I'm so
Yay.
glad to hear that. That's awesome. And that's perfect. Like, yeah, you don't need a kit. You just need one thing. Start ripping.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's do two more before we bounce off. What did you feel? What did you notice? Yeah, Michelle.
I'll go. So yeah, the tearing was very therapeutic. Um, Challenging, but yet like it required focus and just being careful and slow, and so you couldn't rush. And initially I realized I was only pulling words.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, well, it'd be nice to have some pictures and color in here too. So I ended up pulling a bunch of greenery and some flowers, and so yeah, it that it was a very calming exercise.
Good. That's awesome. That's the goal. Yeah, I pulled a bunch of words out too first, and then I was like, I need something behind these.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yay. Hillary or Mackenzie, do you guys want to chime in before we close?
One of my favorite things to do is go to like painting with a twist and those kind of places where you can just do art. And I like that it's this no pressure feeling of like you're just creating something. And I find that I don't consider myself a visual artist, but when I leave, I like what I've made more because the process was so fun that I look at it and have that memory. And this kind of felt like an at-home version of that. Like I look at it and I'm like, I remember the thoughts that I was having when I was pulling those things that makes me like the product even more, even if it's not like the most visually perfect thing.
Yep. Well said. It's about the process. Cool. Yay. Well, while I close, unless Mackenzie just jumped off, I think. While I close, I would love for you guys to put your check-in word or check-out word in the chat. Just how are you leaving this wellness workshop? And what I want to leave you with is this as a tool. Creating puts you in the present moment. It takes us out of all the thoughts of our day. And it gives us an opportunity to get rid of that toxic stress, even if it's just for an hour, and to just be present. And I think with so many things going on in our lives and in our world, having kind of like an ace card up our sleeve of something that we can just pull out and do whenever, like we have spent an hour, but I spent the whole first 15 minutes talking. So really, you guys created for about 30 minutes, which we can typically find that after dinner, even on a weeknight. And this is my favorite way of doing it because it's so low pressure. I don't have to be a beautiful artist. I can just start ripping things out of magazines and make something. And it's about the process. Like the thing that I made today. So here, I'll show you what I usually do. So this is my most recent journal, which you guys have this laminated cover that came in your kit as well. So if you did end up covering your journal, or if you want to do this again, which I highly recommend, and cover your journal, I just overlay this a little bit and then I can wrap it around the sides when I'm done. But tonight I just created this. And if I'm honest, I don't really love it. Like I love a lot of the things I create. Like I love the front of my journal, and this one is like, okay, that was nice. But the point is that I feel like I came into this a little frazzled. And now I'm like, I just feel good. I'm ready to go spend the rest of my evening. I'm ready to go wind down and go to bed. And whatever came in with this day is just behind me. And so I want to give you the ability to rip things out of magazines and glue them to paper as kind of an ace card up your sleeve tool, to get rid of stress. You guys now have your magazines. The magazines that I used, I think I've probably used for 4 or 5 different collages. So it doesn't have to be a pretty brand new magazine. It can be a totally ripped up one. I'm just going to read your guys's checkout words. And then if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If not, I'm just going to hold this space for you guys to hop off and finish your collage or go to bed or make some tea, whatever it is. So, creating to reduce stress. We've got thoughtful, relaxed, excited, content, introspective, and peaceful. And I'm going to say rested. So thank you guys for spending your Thursday evening with us. I hope to see you next Thursday as well. And I hope you guys have a glorious, beautiful night.